Hi, this is David Wallman with JamPlay.com, and this pack is all about odd time signatures. So what is an odd time signature? It's basically anything that is not written in common time signature. That leads to another question. What is common time signature? That's basically any track, any song that was recorded with a 4 count. So every bar is organized into 4 beats. So you'll be able to count to 4. And it's almost ingrained in our musical brains, that 4 count, because we're so used to that Western music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as we hear those 4 counts, we're ready for a new musical idea, a new measure. So this backing track pack is going to break that feel, that comfortable feeling that you get with 4/4 tracks. It doesn't mean that it's going to sound awkward or odd. It just means that you kind of need to be prepared so that your musical ideas start on the 1. And because that 1 doesn't come after, a 4 count, that's where the main difficulty of this pack is. So we need to prepare before even playing to count and to get used to where those beginning of each measure is going to fall. So for that, I just want to talk briefly about what a time signature is. A time signature is basically a fraction with 2 numbers, a top number and a bottom number. The top number is probably the most important number. That indicates how many times you're going to count until a new bar or a new measure starts. And because we're an odd time signature, it's going to be anything but 4. If we had a 4, that'll be a common time signature. So a 3 would be a 3 count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's kind of common. We hear a lot of 3s there, here and there. But then you have some a little more odd time than the 3s, like 5s, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after counting bars for a few times, you kind of get comfortable with that, and you kind of know naturally where the 1 is going to fall. So that's for the top number of the fraction. The bottom number indicates what the value of those counts is, what kind of notes are representing by each count. So if you have a 4 on the bottom, that's a quarter note. 4 quarter notes, 3 quarter notes, 5 quarter notes. The bottom number is the type of note that each count is. An 8 would be an 8th note. And really, if you want to think of this as follow, it's going to help you out. The bottom number is kind of an indication of how fast the feel of the groove is going to be. The higher the number on the bottom, the faster the feel is going to be. So if you have a 3/8, you count 3/8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, as opposed to a 3/4, that's 3 quarter notes. The tempo is probably going to be a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's basically what that fraction is. I'm going to pick a track from this pack. This is called Indian Cool to demonstrate how to use all these backing tracks. This backing track, Indian Cool, is made of 2 sections. There are 2 different time signatures, 1 per section. The first one is a 5/8. So that means 5/8 notes. You're going to count to 5, and then a new bar is going to start for that first section. And 1/8 notes indicate that it's kind of a faster feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. The second section is made of a 3/4. So 3 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's a little bit slower. The quarter note is a little slower than the 1/8 note. So let me demonstrate this with a metronome. And once we're comfortable with the metronome, you can actually do that with the track. Listen to the track and count. So for this, you can use any metronome, really. I've got mine set to 1/8 notes. That's an indication of the speed. And if I play this, each click is an 1/8 note. 1, 2, 3, 4, da, 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 da. And because the first section is 5/8, I'm going to count to 5, and then I'll start a new bar. So it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so forth. The second section is 3 quarter notes. So I'm going to leave my metronome as it is. It's set to 1/8 notes. And you should know that these are relative times. So a quarter note equals to 1/8 notes. So if I count 3 quarters on this metronome, the click is the 1/8. Instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that would be 3/8. We can count 3 quarters, so it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there are 2 clicks per count. So if I alternate a 5/8 measure, which is for the first section, with a 3/4 measure, which is for the second section, it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. That's basically what that track is made of. Now this was fast, I just alternated these measures, but the first section is made of a bunch of different measures in 5/8, so you have time to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and then you'll hear it over the track that it kind of slows down to the 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the first step when you approach one of these 20 backing tracks. Just read the description. It's going to give you an indication as how to count over that. And then just listen to the backing track without your guitar to get familiar with that count and count over it. Once you're comfortable with that, once you kind of have a feel of where that 1 is going to fall, grab your guitar and you're going to try to develop musical lines that start on the 1. So you might ask, well, how do I do that? The first step is just to pick the scale. In this case, we're in C major or G mixolydian. It's the same thing. They both share the same notes. And you can just play over the 5/8, just 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that'll kind of tell you where the 1 falls. The second step is to be a little more musical. And for that, you're going to build some simple musical ideas and try to start with a note of the chord. And your ear is your best friend for that. You're just going to listen for those strong notes, the notes that really are resting over the chord. And usually it's going to be the root or the third or the fifth. If you want to go a little bit more in depth on that harmony type of thing, you can check out lessons on JamPlay. I recorded a while back a big theory course, and that'll answer all your questions as far as intervals. But that's basically how you do it. But really, the most difficult, quote unquote difficult, it's not that hard, it's just a different way of thinking, is to count over these backing tracks and get used to where the 1 falls. Once you have that down, just grab your guitar. No matter how technical you are, you should be able to make music. Don't need a lot of notes as long as you know where the 1 falls. So that's the purpose of this pack. There are 20 backing tracks. They're organized into different levels, but basically the levels just give you an indication as to how many time signatures are on that track. So start with level 1, beginner tracks. That'll give you a feel for different odd time signatures, and then graduate to the intermediate and advanced tracks and check all of them out. Once you know the principle of counting, once you know how those fractions work, you shouldn't have any problems. And remember that the goal is to make music. Apply anything you're doing to anything you're learning in this course to anything else you're working on, and that's what music is about. You're going to improve, practice well, and keep it fun, and I hope you enjoy this pack.